So in order to stay on point with your rough draft and make sure that you make it from the beginning to the end, it's important to establish some kind of a writing schedule. Um, I usually have an entire book schedule. I used to be better at it. Writing schedule is great. You add in the time that it takes to do the marketing on social media and managing all of that, and all of a sudden your time becomes scarce really quick. So I am working on kind of an outline. It's a weekly to-do list, from starting to finish. And so I was thinking I could get that out as a New Year's resolution for people. That's how I published my first book, was that I made it a New Year's resolution, and I promised myself that I was finally going to finish that book. I had never been able to do it before, and so I kind of held my own feet to the fire and made myself do it. So I figured if I can come up with a plan that people can use to finish a book, if you start at the beginning of the year, that you'll get it finished, by the end of the year. So I am working on that. Look for it towards the end of this year, beginning of next year as a New Year's resolution. It's really important to make sure that your goals are attainable. A lot of people will kind of tell you, you have to write every day if you're serious about it. First of all, nobody should be telling you how to do anything. It's your way. I do these videos because this is what works for me. It doesn't mean that it will work for you, and it doesn't mean that you should do everything that I say. It's just information that you can take it or leave it however you feel. And you should take everything with a grain of salt. If somebody tells you that you're not a serious writer if you don't write every day, they're full of shit. Plain and simple. There's lots of different ways to do this. People all move at different speeds. I have a full-time job. I foster dogs. I have 4 foster puppies right now, which are consuming a large amount of my time. I have 2 dogs of my own. So yes, there are 6 dogs here, which gets crazy. I have a daughter. I have a family. There's groceries, there's laundry, I have all of the things plus, a 40-hour-a-week job. Now, I do work from home, and that does help, but it is still hard to find the time to do things. And I think one of the best ways, a lot of people will always tell me, I don't have time to write. Well, I'm going to tell you that that's bullshit. You do have time to write. You just have to decide how much you want it. And you have to decide for yourself what you're willing to sacrifice. It's like with everything else in life. What you really want, you're willing to sacrifice for. And it's no different with writing. So I have told people in writing groups that I've run, you need to do an audit of your time. I'm not saying that you should have no downtime, no relaxation time. That is not what I'm saying at all. But I think that most people can find that there are times in their schedule where they could probably devote 30 minutes to writing something down on a page. I think you can carve that out. And it's looking at, maybe I don't binge an entire series on Netflix over the weekend. Maybe I take a little bit of time to do that. Maybe when I'm having my morning coffee out on the porch, I can bring a notepad with me and I can jot some things down and think as I think of them. I think we can all find places where we can make that happen. When my daughter was doing martial arts, it was a great time for me to bring my computer or my notebook. I could still watch her practice, but I had 45 minutes in which I could, put some words on a page. And so if I could at least utilize some of that time, of course, there's always distractions, but you do the best that you can and you fit it in where you can. A lot of times when I was not working at home and I was going into the office, I would use my lunch hour. I would eat at my desk, I would close my office door, and work on it from there. We may not be able to do that, but I'm just using examples that, you can find some time to do it. And it's how bad you want it, how much you want to prioritize it. So I can be honest and say that I juggle a lot. And if I can do it, you can do it too. It's just a matter of getting organized and getting serious about it. Make sure your goals are attainable. Don't make them so off the wall crazy that you're never going to meet the goal because you're going to frustrate yourself, you're going to burn yourself out, and you're going to walk away from it, and it's never going to be a finished project. So you need to set something that may be in the realm of something that you can hit. A lot of times I don't do, my goals are not daily goals. My goals are weekly goals. And that's kind of how I structure things. So a lot of times I'll work on multiple projects. So I'll say, okay, well, I have this rough draft. I want to make sure that I write 2,000 words in this rough draft per week in order to complete it in such and such a time frame. So that way I know when my books are going to launch too, or I have at least an idea. I know as I get closer, I can adjust it closer to the exact time, but I can say, oh, it's going to be fourth quarter of 2024 when this book is going to be done. That gives me a little bit of leeway forward and backward. What the weekly goals do is, you know what, if I only have time to put 200 words on a page today, I didn't fail because I have 6 more days in which to put words on a page. So if I get busy and called away for whatever reason, you know, I can always come back and finish it, and I haven't failed. I set editing goals. I want to edit 2 chapters this week, you know. I might do them both in one day. I might do one of them at the beginning of the week and one at the end of the week. It just kind of depends on what your normal workload is. If you have a night where the family is relatively calm and there's not a lot going on, you may get a lot done. There may be a night where you're just running the kids all over the place and you get nothing done. And that's perfectly okay too, but at least the weekly goals allow you, I think anyway, a better opportunity to hit your goal. So that's kind of how I do it. I usually take a look at, you know, if I want to write this book, if I want to have the rough draft done in 4 months, you know, I'm looking at what kind of book I'm writing, what genre. I say, you know, okay, I want it to be 80,000 words. So then I'd look how many weeks, you know, that would be, you know, 80,000 words divided by X amount of weeks. It tells me how many words I need to write a week. And I can kind of put that on my calendar as a reminder that, hey, by Friday or Sunday or whenever you want the end of your week to be, to see if you've hit your goal. So that is kind of how I keep myself on track. It's like giving myself homework and holding myself accountable. That's really hard to do. But it is possible and you can do it only if you really want it. And I think there's some people out there that really do want it. So I hope you're willing to take it seriously and give it your all. So good luck.